like the artists and the producers on the group chat. So I would just be like, because there's an equal number of producers and artists, so I'd just be like, find somebody on this group chat, you lot find a way to make a song, the winner of the song, something like that. So stuff like that, like really networking and engaging. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that in 2019. It's a very good idea. It's very different. Okay, so your YouTube channel does very well and it's growing over the months. How do you stay consistent with your ideas and your audience?
I think the main thing is I'm a journalist, so the most important thing is I have a responsibility to report the facts. And there's new facts every day in the world. There's more news every single day in the world. There's more things to talk about. There's more opinions. That, like, this time last year, would you have seen someone like Rush releasing a song like Gunny, and it, like, do you know what I mean? So so there's always room for new ideas. There's always room for something new, and I just keep my mind open. I like listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of financial podcasts, because there's a lot going on right now in the UK with Brexit, as you know, and I just want to be on top of that. You know,
so if you know your facts, you need to know everything that's going on.
Yeah, so I find my source of knowledge. Your source of knowledge can come from anything. Could be a book, could be your mum, could be your boyfriend, it could be anyone. But I think it's very important as a creative to have a source of knowledge, a place that you know when you go there or when you touch there, you leave with something, if that makes sense. Some people it might be church, or something, it might be the mosque. You go to a place, you leave there with more strength and more power to do what you need to do. So yeah, that's how I stay creative.
Okay, that's good. How do you deal with backlash from others? For example, you and Notes had a situation. How did you guys move on from that?
I mean, at the time, it was more or less of, like I said, I have an opportunity to, not even an opportunity, I have a responsibility to report the facts. Now, I did a video praising him, talking about his work, but I was critical in one little manner. But it wasn't to a manner where it disrespected his career. I just said something. Now, of course, the backlash came when he just pointed out that one thing that I said, and not the whole video. So obviously that happened, and of course I took to Twitter and I responded vocally, because even though I do YouTube and I'm a professional, I'm not somebody that is weak. I'm not someone that's weak-minded. I'm gonna stand up. Exactly, like
everyone should.
Exactly, but obviously there's borders, there's boundaries, you know, like I'm not gonna do things that I don't need to do to prove a point. You know what I'm trying to say? That's going back, that's me going back to previous, that's me going back to the way things were. And even Notes as well, you know, last year he got over 100 million streams. I'm happy for him, and that's exactly what I was talking about in that video. So I'm sure maybe because of that spark, it sparked something in both of us to go through. And sometimes you need moments like that, as long as it's in the boundaries. And how I got over it personally is just to continue to just go on and you know, be mature in ways. Just be mature and be responsible and just keep on going. But
I feel like in this industry you have to be mature about things and just keep it moving, really.
But I respect Notes. I respect what he's done and stuff. One day he might probably use this in like a diss track or something rubbish, and I'm joking, no one's going to do a diss track for me. But most importantly, he's of course moved on from the situation, and it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. Do you think social media is toxic for young people, and do you think social media can train people to compare their lives to others?
Definitely. I think it's toxic to an extent. I think too much of everything is bad. You know, if you eat too much, you drink, you know, just taking too much from something and never being able to like relieve it or let it out, if that makes sense. And I think social media is amazing. It's a wonderful place, but when there's boundaries, that's when it's wonderful. When there's no boundaries with social media, you know, parents don't have control over their kids' phones. And I'm not saying parents should be evasive, but you should teach your kid to, you know, 10 minutes of the day or an hour of the day, just don't touch my phone, just be by myself with my thoughts, you know, with my family. And I think social media is a good thing, but of course a bad thing, too much of everything. And of course people do compare themselves to other people, especially, you know, girls. Mainly now, you know, like there's a lot of young girls on social media, and they follow all of these top models and stuff. There's nothing wrong with adoring your body or exposing your body, but it gets to a point where people are exalting you, lifting you high because you look like a certain way.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, everyone has something about them that makes them a special person. You're not just the only person that's special. So my problem with social media is when people put people on too much of a high pedestal.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
I agree with you. So let's talk about youth violence. You talk about youth violence a lot online, such as knife crime. Why do you think it's an important topic to discuss in our generation right now?
I think more than it just being important, I think it's very important that we act like, I don't, like, in the beginning when I started doing my documentaries and being a journalist, I never thought I would be in the avenue of youth violence. I think things just happen the way they happen. Of course, you know, God works in mysterious ways, and you know, also the devil works as well.
Definitely,
you know what I'm trying to say. So it's just those things. And I think with youth violence, it's a thing that we don't act on. We are, you know, the past 10-15 years that it's been this massive epidemic in this country, no one's really done much. Everybody has an opinion. So that's why I did On Your Block most specifically. I put 4 rival groups on one documentary. That is a sign of doing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That was me doing. It maybe didn't give some massive effect, but it did put things in a perspective that there's a scene here of people here, whether they dislike or they like each other, they're all in the same scene together and everybody can win. So I think the thing with youth violence, we just need to just get it done. Like the smallest possible thing you can do. I don't like going on camera and saying stabbings need to stop, gun crime needs to, because that stuff, it just doesn't, you know what I mean?
You
but
need to take action and actually do something. Like you done something with the documentary, which is very good. Okay, let's talk about Afrochop news. Are you still working with DJ Neptizzle on his Rinse FM?
Yeah. There's been a bit of recess in terms of like there's just been a break because he went on like a tour. He was in Australia, he was in Ghana, he was in other places as well. So of course we took a break. And Neptizzle loves to travel. You know, that guy loves to enjoy himself. I was meant to go Canada with him last year, but of course, you know, just other arrangements that I had, I couldn't go. But man, I would have loved to go, man. He was DJing at other places.
He DJs a lot because I listen to him as well. So sometimes he's not there because he's like blowing out or something. So people cover for him. But yeah, so how did Afrochop news come about? Like, why did you create Afrochop?
I'm a massive Afrobeats fan. I'm an African, first of all. Obviously, I come from, you know, I'm from London. I'm British. I'm a British boy. I come from the hood. That's
what
me.
country are you from?
I'm from Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Yeah, I come from there, but I am more in tune with my African side. Like I really, you know, began to get more in touch with Sierra Leoneans. You know, last year, and well, not really last year, 2017, I was heavily invested in the Sierra Leonean music scene. Very invested, just because I just wanted to be a part of that. And now I've got crazy networks there. So Afrochop news, or Afrochop, started in 2017. In fact 2016, I had like a radio show on Represent Essex. So Represent Radio, and they had another radio like Represent Essex. So I wanted to go on there because they had an Afrobeat show already on Represent. So I went to Represent Essex, and the show was called Afrochop. It was showing all UK Afrobeats. I was doing it. I'm not a DJ or anything. I was just doing small mixes on some tiny app, like, but it banged a little bit. Cut a long story short, I was on a bus one day. I was just on a bus, and I went on my phone and I saw something about Wizkid. He won something, and I was so happy that I was like, how come nobody is voicing about this? Like, this is a massive thing. This is big.
Big deal,
and then I just took up, like, I literally just got a microphone, and I just ranted, like, just talking bare rubbish, like, and then I just started doing it, uploading it, and then like Nigerian is coming for me, and then people, you know, some of them loving what I'm doing, and then, you know, doing other stuff, and then it's just like, like, this, like, I actually started this just from a moment of creativity because I was out. So,
pretty cool. So everything that you've learned in your career, what would you tell your younger self?
Okay, if I was 10 years younger, if I was 12 years old, I would probably tell myself to not worry about what anybody has to say. Well, I do that now, but I've got the hang of it more with YouTube. It toughens you up, but definitely just not caring about what anybody has to say. I think sometimes it's important to, like, in fact, it's not sometimes, most times it's important to have criticism.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, you have to.
Makes you grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between criticism and just like abuse.
Definitely.
Like someone trying to attack you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about people. Don't worry about the people that will try to attack you verbally.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do, and what you know is right. Just do it. You know, if you do something wrong, then people are gonna come for you. But if you do everything in your power that's right, God is seeing you, and you'll fly.
Amen. I agree. So what do you have in store for us for 2019? Any more documentaries?
So this year, in fact, next week I'm releasing the Montgomery List 2019.
Okay.
Now, this is a thing that I thought about last year, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna do it. So in America, they have this thing called the XXL Freshman List.
Okay.
So it's a list of all artists of that year that are gonna shine for the new year.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they have about 10-15 artists on the cover.
Yeah,
and it's a very, you've seen it. So it's a very prestigious thing. So I'm starting that for drill. So this is the Montgomery List 2019, and this is going to be the list for all the artists in 2018 that did well. Okay. But 2019, I believe, are going to really propel.
Are they going to be upcoming?
Some up. Okay, to be on this list is based on 3 things.
Okay.
Just monetary progress, just from, you know, last year. Was you clocking in or peaking in at 500k views in a month? Yeah. And then now you're clocking in like 900,000 views each video or something. Yeah. Just monetary progress. Okay. Numbers, of course, relevance, and projects. So not all artists that drop projects, but just based on that, based on that, and what and who I believe has the right support system to move forward. So some of these artists are quite known, but they're not in the commercial market yet. Okay. And I think that's where we're trying to get, not just drill, but just underground music, just there, in that market, in that bracket of greatness. So
I feel like this project's gonna push these people out.
Yeah, and it's coming out next week. It's gonna be on the linkup.com, Linkup TV's website. So it's gonna come out next week, Saturday. In fact, when's this gonna be out? Or I shouldn't ask. It's fine. Okay. It's gonna come out. In fact, you can just cut it. It's gonna come out next week, Saturday.
Okay. 12th.
What day is it again?
12th.
It's the 12th, yeah? Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, let me say it again. It's gonna come out on the 12th of January 2019, and it's gonna come out on the linkup.com. And yeah, you can read it. It's like my first written piece that I'm really pushing, because usually people don't push written pieces or anything like that.
How many artists are you having on your...
We'll see. Okay. We'll see. There's more than 10. There's more than 10. There's even more than 15, so it's within that range and bracket. So yeah, man, it's coming out, and the beginning of next month, February, on the 5th of February, there's going to be a documentary that I'm dropping called The Masked Driller. So looking at different masks that are worn in the drill scene and how it contributes towards an artist, can it make them propel or make them go back. So that's that for 2019, and other stuff to come, but we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves for the year.
Well, I'm looking forward to everything that you've said that's coming out next week and in February. So hope everyone stays tuned for that and watch out for that.
Come on, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good. We got some interesting projects.